Here are the best plugins to use as a music producer in 2023. If you have not heard of any of these, they're all going to be linked in the description. I promise you they are all amazing. Some of them are affiliate links that'll support me and I would really appreciate it. But anyway, let's get to it. First up, we have Vitamin. This plugin is absolutely insane. It's pretty much just an advanced EQ. You can of course adjust these sliders to boost whatever ranges that you want. But more importantly, you have these dials down here for stereo shaping each individual frequency range. So let's say you download a beat as an MP3 or a wave. You can make the low end a little bit more mono and narrow by bringing this dial down. But what's going to have the biggest effect is expanding the mid to high ranges. This is going to make your music sound a lot more full and exciting. I'm going to show you an example here where it's very noticeable, and I'm only going to turn Vitamin on and off, which you'll notice an insane difference, especially if you're wearing headphones. You can really hear the perks in the beat especially become way more full and just like exciting throughout the mix. Next up, we have SSL channel, in specific E channel. This plugin is extremely helpful on both your mixes and your masters. We got a low pass and a high pass filter. There's an EQ from high frequencies all the way down to low frequencies, a compressor, a stereo shaper, and the output volume. I usually put this on my final masters and just boost the highs a little bit and adjust the mids and lows to make them sound a little bit smoother overall. I don't know what it is, but the default settings in here for the frequency ranges that it's using are very, very clean. I pretty much only adjust the dB boost here. They also have a shitload of presets here. You can see all of these individual producers who made their own presets on here. One of my favorites is down here under Nick Brophy called Radiovox. I'm gonna show you an example of the Radiovox in play. I'm not actually using it on this song, but you're gonna see what I mean when I say it sounds very good.
Windows out till we hit the ground. It's the only way I wanna get around.
Like, that sounds more radio than anything I've ever been able to do with a parametric EQ, so yeah, hats off to SSL channel. At number 3, we just got a basic one with de-esser. I have used Sibilance, I've used Spitfish, I've used some default plugins in Audition, I've tried our de-esser, and none of them seem to do as good of a job as just this basic de-esser plugin. I pretty much always set the mode to wide, adjust the threshold until it starts taking effect, and depending on whose voice I'm messing with, I'll adjust the frequency range here. Just play your song along and then drag this up and down and see the effect it has. Usually I like to leave a little bit more of the SE sounds in, and then add an EQ afterwards and do some notch filtering to take out any harsh frequencies that are being left. At number 4, we have Metaflanger, which I use this on all of my backup vocals, like literally every single one. It's got a built-in stereo separator, so if you just want to separate your vocals, you can disable all the other effects here by just dragging this down to 0 and then just drag stereo all the way up. Here's what it sounds like going on and off on some background vocals.
Save us, I'm honestly surprised that I ain't gave up. I think it made up. Let's wait till your shit face up or another cup when everything is down, 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 down. Still like double up.
You can hear it sounds so much wider and just way cooler in the background. I put this on the main vocals for my song Obsidian as well, and it sounded really crazy there too. Here's one that's actually free from Waves. It's called Studio Rack. This is really helpful in FL Studio because you only have 10 effect slots. So you basically just want to add this whenever you're going to start adding Waves plugins, because this only allows you to add Waves plugins into it, sadly. But you can add a bunch in order in here. Then if you want to add a stock plugin, you just go back over here, put it in. And if you want to go back to adding more Waves plugins, throw in another Studio Rack. That way you can get a lot more than, of course, 10 effects. This is a free one from Cable Guys called Pancake. Shout out to Luke for showing me this one. It's a pretty easy to use panning plugin. You can adjust the way this pans, making a really cool like pathway. You can adjust how often it changes, like you could do a quarter note, half note, whatever. And you can also adjust the mix in here, so it'll start doing the effects a little bit more subtly as you turn it down. And as a little bonus, I have this new one that I just got introduced to called L3 Multi-Maximizer. You use this again on your masters, but of course you can use it on whatever you need. You can adjust certain frequency ranges to be limited versus others. So let's say you have some hard kicking low end and it needs a lot of extra headroom. Throwing on a regular limiter might start to bog that bass down and make it sound like ass, but you can adjust the limiter to not change the low end here, and instead it only reacts to the mids or the highs wherever you want to adjust. If you have some intense high end that comes in every once in a while, you can have the limiter just bog it down some. If the mids are too loud or just not loud enough, you can bring the threshold down and then boost the gain. I recommend you go watch this tutorial in the top right corner. It's the one that showed me this plugin. He does a great breakdown on how to master your tracks very professionally. But yeah, I think that's going to conclude today's list. If you enjoyed or learned something, leave a like. All the links again are in the description. Appreciate y'all. Anyways, guys, been your boy MMXVII, and I'm out. Peace.